What's up everyone, and welcome back to Nerd Doc. The Atom Project has finally released, so we're going to go over the main plot points and the ending of the movie. There will be spoilers for the Atom Project. If you do not wish to be spoiled, you can check out our spoiler-free review, linked below. We'll try to hit all the major plot points, but if we missed anything, or you have any questions we didn't cover, leave a comment and we'll try our best to answer them. And don't forget, check out our other Atom Project videos, including all the Easter eggs in the movie, and a look at the science and plot holes. There are chapter timestamps below, so feel free to jump around the video if you'd like. Adam Reed is the main character in the Atom Project. The adult version is Ryan Reynolds' character, but you also see him as a 12 and 8-year-old boy. Adam starts off in the year 2050 and uses a time jet, which is a time-traveling equipped jet, to travel back in time. He originally wanted to go back to 2018, but because he was in a hurry and being chased down by the bad guys, who we'll get to in a second, he didn't have time to double-check his coordinates and ended up in 2022. Adam's father, Lewis Reed, created the technology that leads to time travel. However, he passed away in 2021. The Saurian Research Company, run by Maya Saurian, the main antagonist in the movie, financed all of Lewis's research and is in charge of time travel in the future. While Maya was already wealthy, she still traveled back in time from 2050 to 2018 and altered the timeline by giving her younger self stock information from the future, making sure she remains in control of time travel and isn't easily forgotten. In the original timeline, the government took over Lewis's research and had control over time travel, while Maya was simply forgotten, at least in her mind, partially because she was only the financial benefactor since Lewis did almost all of the research. The original timeline also had a much better future for the environment. The companies Maya told her younger self to invest in caused a lot of damage to the planet, which helped turn 2050 into a barren wasteland similar to the future seen in Terminator 2. In 2050, Laura, Adam's wife, was going through the logs that keep record of all time travel. She saw a jump that was made from 2018 to 2050, but there was no record of that time jet making the initial trip from 2050 to 2018. This is because in the original timeline, Maya used a time jet to travel back in time to 2018 and give herself those stock tips which changed the timeline. From the perspective of someone in 2050, there was no record of the initial jump from 2050 to 2018 because that only happened in the original timeline that no longer exists, and not in the now altered timeline that Laura was in when she found the records. This prompted Laura to travel back to 2018 to figure out what happened, but Maya found out what she was up to and set an altitude bomb on her time jet. The bomb went off when Laura reached a certain altitude, destroying her time jet. She was able to safely eject, but with no time jet, she was stuck in 2018. Laura tried to live off the grid as much as she could while still keeping an eye on the young Adam. Back in the future, Adam was told that Laura died during re-entry. But Laura was one of the best pilots they had, so her messing up re-entry was too much of a stretch. Adam looked into it, stole a time jet, and tried to get back to 2018 to find out what happened. He ended up landing in 2022 instead, but Laura found him since she was watching his house anyway. Laura gave Adam most of the intel he needed to go back to 2018 and stop time travel from being invented. However, Adam's ship was damaged and he only had one jump remaining. He used it to get to 2018, found his dad, and went to Saurian in order to stop time travel from being invented. Adam's first idea was to blow up the particle accelerator, but his dad corrected him that it was actually the infinitely shifting plasma containing algorithm, or IPSC for short, that needed to be taken out. This is a math equation that stabilizes the wormholes and allows time travel to be possible. Adam basically needs to destroy a hard drive that holds the equation because no one else on the planet knows the equation other than Lewis. Of course, if they wanted to make a sequel, they could just say someone else figured it out years later, but for now, that ends time travel. The hard drive is housed in the lower levels of the Saurian building and runs a surprisingly small particle accelerator, but we'll get into that a little more in our Science of the Atom Project video. Anyway, Maya from the future and Maya from 2018 arrive while Adam and Lewis still have the hard drive in hand. Maya has young Adam as a hostage after grabbing him while he's by himself outside. When young Adam gets away, Maya accidentally shoots the accelerator, unleashing a giant magnet on everything in the room. Adam still has the hard drive when Maya attempts to shoot Lewis and his family. Unfortunately for Maya, the super powerful magnet pulls the bullet away from Lewis and instead hits young Maya, killing both Mayas at the same time, since Maya from the future can't exist without Maya from the past, even though that goes against the rules set up in the movie. We also won't talk about how the magnetic steel bullets aren't impacted by the giant magnet until after they've been shot. We'll save all that plot hole stuff for our plot holes video, also linked below. Afterward, Lewis mentions that he's surprised both Adams are still there, as he assumed they would disappear once time travel had been eliminated. To which Adam says that it has 30 years of corrections to make, and that takes a little bit of time. This is true since both Adams disappear a few minutes later while the three of them are playing catch. Earlier in the movie, Laura mentions that even after everything is corrected, everything that's happened would still have happened. This is a nod to the Avengers Endgame theory on time travel, that even if you travel back in time, that past now becomes your future. You're still aging and moving forward in time, even if your forward movement was actually going back in time. Your past is still your past. Laura believes that an echo of the events of this past will remain in whatever timeline is left. This is what happens near the end of the movie. Older Adam told his younger self to give their mom a hug. The echo reminds young Adam of this request, and even though he doesn't have vivid memories of the events that occurred with his older self, in the back of his mind he subconsciously remembered to hug his mom due to Laura's echo theory. Likewise, the story of how Adam and Laura met still happens, even without the time pilot program where they originally met. Originally, Laura walked into the wrong class in the wrong building. That still happened, even though Adam was learning about flying, while Laura was supposed to be in a computational linguistics course, a nod to her Star Trek character, which we mentioned in our Easter eggs video, which you guessed it, is also linked below. Anyway, that about wraps up this video. From here, we can assume Adam and Laura still end up getting married, and if there's a sequel, someone else probably creates time travel again. Thank you for watching. Once again, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who loves Ryan Reynolds.